So I'm redoing my pedal board because I got a gig in January that we're preparing for, and I'm finally putting together my board. So I have like 12 different pedals here, along with my board that I've been using forever. Novo 24 pedal train, and we'll get into that. Basically, what I want to do here is I want to give a perspective on like building a board, what to think about, and from a guy who kind of knows what he's doing. um, yeah, you don't know me, and this is your first time here. My name is Billy Ray Wallace. I am a singer, songwriter, guitarist based in Nashville from Evansville, Indiana. I've been here for almost a decade, just playing the local scene and stuff like that. I've worked in music stores. I've managed music stores. I have kind of seen it from multiple angles. So anyway, so guy that kind of knows what he's talking about. As we sit here, I'll show you kind of what I got. Like I just showed you, I got this, which is the pedal train Novo 24, and I am using the Mondo power supply. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can see that. Which is basically a big ass power supply for all my big ass pedal boards I'm going to use. First thing I kind of want to bring up is I have built many boards in my lifetime. A lot. It never ends. And the thing that I used to work at Sam Ash. I was an assistant manager at Sam Ash before it went under. Wah, wah, wah. One of the things that I learned whenever I was working at Sam Ash was don't use regular Velcro. Use this stuff, which is the Scotch 3M. I'm sure there's a better technical name for it. You just go to Lowe's, Depot, Menards, if you're up north, wherever, and get the. I don't know if you'll be able to see this stuff, but it's it's not the traditional Velcro. Anyway, that they're like they lock and they hold, like the package even here says holds 10 pounds, and none of these pedals are 10 pounds. And I had so I'll go through all my pedals, but this guy, the Strymon Flint, best. Anyway, I'll talk about that later. But whenever I was trying to take this off the board, it was extremely difficult. Like I was bent over, like it was terrible. But it'll hold it, and yeah, to get that Velcro. But the other thing I want to talk about too is right now in this space and time that I am at, I am only playing my music live. A year ago and stuff like that, I was playing my buddies too, so my board would switch. I would go between a Helix and like analog board with some digital stuff on there, but you know what I mean, like pedal board, like classic pedal board. But now I'm kind of only gearing up to play my stuff. So so whenever you're making a board, this thing you need to think about is what are you going to use and what are you not going to use. You don't need to overdo it, especially if you're like me and you're fronting a band and you're singing and stuff like that. You can't be crazy toe tapping. You want enough to keep everything interesting, but not too much to just to be overkill or just be too much to handle up there. So with me, I'll go through the pedals. Is first and foremost tuners. If you're not in tune up there, no one wants to hear you. It's terrible, right? And it's also maddening if you don't think you're in tune. Make sure you are. First thing in line is a fuzz. I did a whole video on this where I want an octave fuzz and I want a fuzz. This is both of them in the same circuit. Well, in the same circuit, same pedal. Um, so go watch that video. I'll try to leave any of the pedals that I've like already done stuff on in the comments. Um, but yeah, this guy's unreal. You need a fuzz. For me, I'm doing stuff like that, like Hendrixy. We're literally doing a Hendrix song, so I need a fuzz. Oh wow. The big wahs are great, and whenever at some point in time, I want to play like as a 3-piece and only as a 3-piece. Like I'm really getting into Philip Sace right now, and I love a wah, but my music as it sits right now doesn't call for it. I have like 2 songs I'm gonna play that needs a wah, so mini wah, right? It works. It's kind of cute. It's like the size of my hand. It gets the job done. So there's that. Um, so this one I'm kind of scared about. I think I might end up buying like a new TS9. I have a Ibanez TS10 on my board right now. It's great. As you can see, I was watching a Jared James Nichols rig rundown, and I saw that he had all of the drive turned up and all of the tone rolled back. And I've always like kind of ran at the opposite, where the drive is almost not even exist in the levels, almost like kind of like the SRV kind of way. And Jared kind of reminds me that it's music. There's no rules. You can kind of do what the fuck you want. So thank you, Jared. That's kind of how I've been running this. So that's kind of cool. Right after that, I did a whole video on this. Like I said, I'll leave it in the comments. Optimus. It's 2 pedals in one. You got a Klon in one. Wait, come on, focus. Yeah. You got a Klon on one end and like a Timmy on the other, and you have a 3-band EQ there. So that's cool. Other thing I would add is a boost, some type of boost. Nothing sucks. Most of the time, I don't need it. Most of the time, I can hit that Klon side of the Optimus, and I'm fine. But when you feel like you can't be heard and you're taking a solo, it's maddening. So this. Also, it helps just if you're a leveler, if you're switching between several guitars or something like that, you're going from like a Les Paul or something to a Strat. Les Pauls have more output, they're gonna be louder. So a leveler, something, you need this. And this is simple. I like it because it's one knob and it's level. That's all it is. So if I if you come to, shameless plug again, if you come to my show in Evansville, and all of a sudden I got stupid loud, it was this guy, and that's how I was feeling. Talking about making solos interesting and like keeping yourself entertained, and obviously the people who you're playing in front of. You need weird pedals, or like pedals that are off, out of left field. The Rossi is that for me. It's an envelope filter. That's all it is. Like the Mayor, the Jerry Garcia, the Nile Rodgers, I think plays one every once in a while. Corey Wong has one. This actually, where I got the idea from this was Corey Wong. He did a rig rundown. Moral of the story: watch rig rundowns. They show you so much. But anyway, that's that pedal. And I'll do a review on that and talk about that sometime, because my song Why Do I, and I already played a snippet of it, but I'll play another one right now. It's that effect. It was a Qtron effect. It wasn't this one that I used, but it does the same thing. And this one I think sounds better, and I wish I would have used it whenever we played. But I don't know if it was out yet. So anyway, subbing up, mini guy. They make a big version of this as well, but this is all I need. It's got sub, dry signal, and octave up. Chorus. This is the only pedal that has been on my board ever since I was like 10 or whatever. So it's, I'll probably end up taking this off at some point, just because I just want to retire it. because it means it's a CE5. It's like nothing to anybody else but to me. This is my first pedal I ever had. But and then I already showed this once, but Strymon Flint. I don't have a Univibe, and I use reverb like a lot, so that obviously the reverb has to be really good on here. But I don't use a Univibe, but the 61 harmonic trim is very like, it's not a Univibe. I'm not trying to sit here and act like it's a Univibe. But if you need a Univibe sounding thing for a song or something like that, or just something like catch and go or throw and go kind of thing, throw and go kind of thing, then this will do it. So there's plenty of reviews on this. I don't want to do it, but that is it. So that's kind of my things I need. I've done videos of, well, here I got I've done videos with like this and this together. You can do the same thing with the fuzz that I showed earlier. I took off a compressor that I normally would have on it because I have a song called What You Trying to Do. I'll play it right here, a little bit of it. And it's very it's a funk song, so there's a lot of like right hand, going. But I find myself every time I use something like that, I'm clicking out of it to like play a lead or something, like on my song Playing Hard to Get. I can use that for the intro, and I can use it but I end up clicking out of it, and I end up toe tapping so much for something that I don't even think matters. I think it matters a lot when you record stuff like that, but I don't think it matters at all whenever you're live. I just think it gets swallowed by stuff like that, unless you're Corey Wong and you're Nile Rodgers, and that is like so much of your sound. I'm only running it like a little bit, so I can feel it, but I don't. Anyway, so that's the thing, and I am going to entirely put this together, and I'll give you some sounds of like what I got from there. So yeah. So after several weeks later, and me procrastinating to do this video, I'm going to finally finish it now. Couple things. So the board's together. I've actually done a rehearsal with it already, so that's cool. And I learned a lot of how to use it and stuff, but just getting into the basic things of the board and like building a board and stuff. For the reason why you clicked on this was having in your head your sounds before you go. For me, lead sounds and rhythm sounds are the biggest thing, right? Everything else is just flavors to enhance those sounds, right? So just and I'll show you like a B-roll here of just like how I have everything laid out. But I have what I've learned is you want to keep all your fuzzes like first in the chain. It wants to see your guitar signal more than anything else. So fuzz pedals first, and then after that I have all my drives as close to my feet as possible, because those are the things I want to be hitting the most. But as short as that, I'll show you some sounds. So right now I have I don't want to piss off my neighbors. That's why I have headphones on, and I'm running my board through a IR basically. It's a Fender Blackface IR if you're curious. But anyway, so right now I have, this is the sound I have up. This is just the amp sound. Really, really dry. Everything's up on the guitar heard. The only thing I do have on, I have the Aquapus on. I think, what is that? Mark 3. If you care about that. It just for a little bit of slap. I mean, it's not. Here's with it on, with it off. And there's a little bit of verb on the amp, but I like that because it just makes it a little less honest. And when I'm doing my funk stuff, my I want it to not sound so in your face. But anyway, but short of that, reverb from the Flint, right? So that's majority, like on my song Everything, that's what I would use. Now, when I was talking about drives, whenever I go into the drive of that, the Optimus ODR1 is like a clon. That's what I would use for that. So as I'm coming out of that into the solo, right? So, and I'll use this. This is the clon thing, and I'll use it on. We do a couple blues songs and stuff like that, so I'll use that. Or maybe even turn it down on the guitar. Turn it down a little bit and get right, kind of thing. And then if I need, I got the Spark on here. If I need that sound louder, kind of thing. Then I have a tube screamer on here if I just want to absolutely kill. But I don't do that too often. But it's there when I need to. And the halo is cool in between what I'm doing on, I got a song called Why Do I, where I would do something like this where it's really, really ambient, where it's really ambient. Maybe some volume swells or something, you know, like. And I learned whenever I was messing around with these pedals, if you're doing the volume swells, I like the tube screamer on. And now, you can hear that. I wouldn't do this. You wouldn't hear it behind the band live or whatever. Or maybe I can just get away with just another drive is what I'm saying, is hit it with something else to get it to. I liked the tube screamer because it's just a lot more dry. but that's a really cool sound delay. And then really the only other like big thing I'll do is something like, well, a couple more things, but on the Flint, I'll use the tremolo side, almost like a univibe. It's got the harmonic trim. I know it's not a univibe, but I don't have a univibe. This is the closest thing to it, so it'll work. And if I'm doing the Hendrix thing, right, and I'm it just immenses craziness, and we like that, especially when you're in the heat of battle. And then the only other thing I would use that tremolo for is like in between different odd sounds, just to make it sound even more ambient, like. But other than that, so that's how I would put together. So that's how I would put together a board, is thinking about the things that you know you need and the things that you don't, and keep them. And I didn't even do everything I can do with this board. I can do a decent like organ kind of sound, like a B3 kind of sound. I can do. There's an the octave, the Octavia kind of thing I can do. But I don't need to whip out everything that. I'll do it in the heat of battle if I need to, but that's really it. But whenever you're putting together your pedals, that needs to be the forefront of your mind, is what sounds are you going to use for what gig. Whenever I played in other bands, I've had different things because I didn't need this, but for what I like to call my music in my band, this is what I really go for. But yeah, if there is another way that you guys know of like putting together boards, like different Velcros, like I was talking about earlier, or different pedals that work in certain situations, leave it in the comments. Let me know about it, because I'm constantly doing stuff like this, and if there's a better way to do this, let me know. And then if you like this kind of content, I hate to ask, but subscribe. I'm just getting into this. I'm a small artist, and I'm trying to check every box to getting my music out there. I make literally no money being a musician, and I work another job just like the majority of the planet, and I do this because I love it, and that's the only reason why I do it. But anyway, I appreciate you all watching, and until next time.